Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator, and I'm going to go over the top 5 things you should know as a military surplus weapons collector. Now, why would you want to learn some of these things? Well, I just see a lot of collectors, new collectors, even old collectors, making some mistakes. When it comes down to it, the more mistakes you make, the harder it's going to be for you, and you're going to just be frustrated. So let's avoid all the frustration and get right to it. All right, number 1, you got to do the research. You got to put in the time and effort to go online, read some books, go on, get some ebooks or something, do the research, learn about the history of particular weapons that you would be interested in. And if you don't, well, you might not know what you're getting yourself into, or it might be something that you just might not really care about because you didn't do the research, and it might just be an impulse buy or something. But either way, you got to know about what you're getting. Let's say you bought a rifle without doing the proper research and you found out it takes a hard to find or rare ammunition type, and you're going to be frustrated now because you can't go into the range and shoot it. Let's say you bought a particular weapon off a website that has a whole bunch in surplus, but you didn't realize that they're in bad condition, and maybe you didn't want something in that bad of condition. You'd feel frustrated. And also, doing the research is part of the fun. I mean, you go and look at the history, you research what battles they were part of, what wars, what units used them, what soldiers used them, mercenaries. I mean, you'd uncover a whole bunch of things. You might find some photographs. So yeah, there'd be some really cool history that you're missing out on. Number 2, you gotta know the value of what you're getting. What's it worth in the online market space, on online auctions, online websites? What's it worth in local shops? What's it worth in your area? What's it worth to you? If you don't know what it's worth and you just impulse buy something, you probably got ripped off. So you got to do the research, and are you getting a good deal? Number 3, you got to know what you want to do with it. Do you want to just have it in your safe and just take some pictures of it? Is it just going to be a safe queen where it just looks pretty? Are you going to have it on display, like over your fireplace mantle? Are you going to go take it to the range and shoot it often? You need to know what you're going to do with it before you get it. Just because you get it and you think it's cool and you don't know what you want to do with it, and then just sits around and you might get bored of it. You might have just made an impulse buy there. And then you probably just want to get rid of it because you're like, hey, you know what? I just don't know what I want to do with it. I got it because it was cool. So definitely know what you want to do with it. If you're going to take it to the range, make sure you know where to get ammo and where and how abundant ammo is for certain weapon systems. So yeah, definitely know what you want to do with it. Number 4, you got to know your budget. You got to know what you're spending money on throughout your bills to pay, your rent, your mortgage, or whatever, and then you got to know what you have left over to purchase some of these collectibles. You don't want to run up your credit card. You don't want to put stuff on layaway and then not come and pick it up and then lose money. I've seen this happen before. Happens a lot. Go to a pawn shop and people pawn off stuff all the time and then leave it there and lose money because they just can't afford to buy it back, and they have problems with financially. And you don't want to have financial issues when you're getting into surplus collecting. Just take it slow. Have a budget. Have a savings like fund just for your collectibles, and then just plan it out. Plan it out throughout the year. Say, hey, I'm gonna. When I collect this much money, I'm going to go and look for a surplus collectible to add to my collection. So definitely know your budget. All right, number 5, you got to set some goals. You got to have a plan. Definitely, once you get to a certain level, I think even past your novice level, you got to start making a plan to when you get these collectibles in, right? You got to plan ahead. Got to plan out what you're going to get throughout the year. You got to plan your storage. You got to plan out your insurance. You got to plan a cleaning schedule, because some of these might sit around for a while and they collect dust. And when they collect dust, it creates rust. And you don't want that to happen. You got to look at what your storage looks like. Is it well ventilated? Is it too humid? Is it on room temperature, or are you just have like AC window units, and for some reason where your storage of weapons are, that's just hot and humid, and that's going to create problems. So you got to know and understand a lot of different aspects when you start military surplus collecting. You got to set some goals of what you want to buy throughout the year if you're getting to a serious collecting level. You got to set some goals of where you want to be in the future. So if you really want to be a surplus collector, you got to go in there and you got to have some goals. Like, do you want all Mosins? Do you want every type of Mosin that was made? Do you want Mausers? Do you want everything? Do you want World War One? Do you want World War Two? You gotta understand what your goals are and kind of just follow them. And if you follow them, you'll do pretty well because that's what your mindset's going to be on, and that's what you're going to be focused on throughout the year. So yeah, set some goals every year and just get to it. All right, since you guys stuck around to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus tip. Don't get sidetracked. Don't get sidetracked because, hey, if you're focused on your goals here and you get sidetracked with other things, let's say you want to buy a new car and spend a bunch of money on a new patio or something, or a new deck, you know, is that part of your collecting goals? You're now getting sidetracked. You're now focusing your attention away from your collecting goals, and that could hinder how you become a collector later on. Yeah, I know life gets in the way sometimes, and we have to get a little sidetracked, but we gotta also focus on what's important, and then focus on our collecting and military collecting journey. But if you're going out there and you're splurging on your car, souping up a nice car that you just got, you're gonna get frustrated later on when you're saying to yourself, oh man, I got these hobbies and I don't know what I want to pick. And you're going to look at your military surplus stuff and you're going to want to get rid of them. Getting sidetracked can lead to a lot of bad things. So stay focused on your collecting journey. And it's a marathon, not a race. And as time goes on, you'll be more successful. I hope this video was inspiring to you. And if you like history and you like military surplus collecting, be sure to pulverize that like button and subscribe if you haven't. It really helps out with the channel. And as always, be sure to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.